Hello. G'day. Hope you're well. Just checking the mic to see if it's flashing. It doesn't seem to be. It's all right. I hope you can hear me. Let me know out there if you can't, please. This is a medical cannabis show, and I respect the law, and I hope you do too. And it was supposed to be on last week, but I missed it, sorry. So today it's a late Happy Australia Day. So I got a few things for Australia Day, but not too much. Some interesting information, I suppose. Yeah, you can make up your opinion on what you think it's like. Oh, actually, there is one positive bit, yes. All right, I'll give it another 60 seconds. So skip through if you want. So I'll get up to the 2-minute mark, and then I'll start then. So I just give the opportunity for a few folk to arrive. And then I'll start sharing some slides and seeing what sort of links that I've got up this week. And hello to Lene. Hope you're well. Cheers to you. And it's an open topic today, so I'll be looking for questions, or it's not going to be a long show. Hopefully Aaron's got some questions. And hello to Aaron. Hope you're going well, mate. Start another 10 seconds, I'll give it. All right, here we go. Hello, Jono, who cares? Here we go. It's ready now. All right, I'll show you what I've got prepared for today. That's it. Not much at all, and they're mostly just pictures. So to get into it, here's a bit of news stuff. So as I was going through some pictures, because I thought I need something interesting, you know, like that. Cool. Can I zoom in? No, I can't. Yes, I can. Let's go like that, eh? Like I was looking for pictures like that, like the kangaroo, you know, that are relevant to Australia Day. And I found a couple of articles. So here's a few articles that I'll share with you. So Australia just opened their first taxpayer-funded cannabis greenhouse. I've heard nothing about it, of course. Second greenhouse will export cannabis to Canada. So just make up your own mind. I'm not going to blimmin' tell you you already know my blimmin' opinion. So good on them. In Sydney, it will be located to supply the state governments, of course. So yeah, it's a bit old, this article, remember though. Oh yeah, good on them. All right, next one. Yeah, see, that was 2019, and this one's even older. This says, Australia wants to be the world's biggest supplier of medical cannabis. Isn't that amazing? This in 2018. So they've got high hopes, this nation. But it's a shame that only the rich get the opportunity to do that. Australia's just announced they want a projected $55 billion global cannabis market. So even back then, Minister Greg Hunt. So they know all about it, but they'd rather just let people import it. It's all about a money thing. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about that. Very good. So a bit of positive is Federation TAFE in Ballarat offers the first accredited medical cannabis cultivation course. Good on them. At least it's a start. So, yes, I'd say that, oh, that's right. That's right, I remember it. The occupants, how many people are they allowed into the first class? Training, begin, jobs. Yes. And will it be a big class, fella? Oh, our pilot will enroll between 12 and 18 students. Right. So there's Australia wrapped up for you. Good luck. Anyway, back to my fun stuff. We're going to get anything out of that. What's this first one? says, there's a bit of negative. Medicinal cannabis use hits 1 million high in Australia. Cannabis medication now available over the counter in pharmacies. With the CBD you can get over the counter, I ask every chemist that I go to, yeah, it's legal, but no one can supply it to them, or they can't get it, or there's supply issues, something along those lines. So, all right, next. That was today. Some cool things, which I think I'll show up soon. Yeah, like this one. It's the Sydney Opera House with a cannabis activist. Did that a while ago. Good on them. Share the good health. This is a new one that I found. It just looks pretty snazzy. And they're doing their thing. That's what medical cannabis should be all about. Look at those in the background. Is that nearly fasciation? Holy mackerel. That'd be all right, wouldn't it? World's biggest leaf. CBD and cardiovascular protection. All right. So your cardiovascular problems, you can read this. That was a cool pic, just showing the chemistry, I suppose, behind all the different terpenes and flavonoids that you get inside of it, cannabinoids. What's this saying? Dogs can get high from eating stoners' poop. This article says, wow, so if you poop in the garden or outside, be careful because your dog might eat it. We're in a first world country. But what's this say? Marijuana toxosis in dogs in Melbourne, Australia, following suspected ingestion of human feces. 15 cases as well between the years of 2011 and 2020. Yes, they'll do anything, won't they, just to try and slam it. But still, wouldn't mind slamming that. What's that, you reckon? What's that? I'll give you a chance. Actually, I haven't even seen if anyone rocked up. What's this? Let's see what you reckon. I can't keep sharing and reading at the same time, can I? Oh, geez. Foretell. Oh, gosh, it goes right up here. Okay, there's a few more. Gladskate Mystico. G'day, mate. How are you going? Let the apps begin. Hello, sunshine. Well, there's a question. How in-depth and political are we allowed to speak about on this? You can go as political as you want, but I can't stand politics because it really ends not well. It's a debate that just, they do what they want, mate. It's more about money and they've got other ulterior motives. So it's sort of, there's no logic brought into it. So it's hard to really discuss for me. Genetic memory farms. Here you go, mate. Aaron says, Australia exported over 30,000 pounds in 2000 in last year. Yeah. But yet the Australian medical market struggles like anything. Oh, no, you can pay 500 an ounce and you're going to get good weed. Oh, that's right. Sorry about that. Where's my manners? Sunshine, just reading down here and then I'll get back to it. Foretell. G'day. Foretell's got a suggestion. He reckons this is a hemp wrap with cannabis surrounding rosin or some kind of extract like a blunt with tobacco or a liquid center. Holy mackerel. All right. Aaron says it's the end of a fancy joint. Oh, yeah. How are you doing? Dave 1969, go mate. That's a dab in a joint. Oh. Jono says dabs. Dabs up, yep. Yeah, I won't disappear. Can we go to I have a Jono says I have a let's go back to my extraction show a few weeks or a few months ago, mate. And if not, you can ask some questions because you're in a legal place. So you can do a not CO2 extraction because it's going to cost you a few thousand to get set up. So you'd be wanting to do a butane extraction, I reckon, and get massive amounts of butane, get a few boxes of that, but you have to purge it right. That's the key to it. So you have to purge it at minus 25 atmospheres for 2 days, so you get rid of all of the hydrocarbons. All right, I'll present it back. That was pretty good. Good guessing, everybody. And someone got it right on the money. That's what it was. I reckon it's some rosin inside of a weed with a blunt wrap. See, that's thick. It's not real tally-ho style, so it's blunt wrap, and that's weed, and then there's rosin in the center. That's a bit too big. That would burn like crazy slow, and it would probably just burn in the center. I don't know if that would burn all right. I haven't got much experience with the rosin, but that's just my opinion. That's a big center. It's stunning, though. Oh, there's some discussion. What are these people discussing? Bits of bud, flower. What do they like? Oh, I don't know about that. Well, like it's on the table. It's a pretty good little fun session. Oh, I don't know what the colours are though. Next. Couldn't be medical cannabis without a nice medical cannabis plant. Get a load of that. Very nice. Can't fault it. Chunky, tight, senescing, so it's finished well. Anthocyanins are showing, so the colour's been brought out. It's just unfaultable in my eyes. So it's pretty good. See, the leaves are healthy. Can't quite get a close enough look to see what other health parts on it. And if there's what's dying or the stems and stuff like that. But they're pretty blooming good. And see if you held your fingers behind some of them. Look at that, that's 3 fingers. So there's no HLDB there. Very good, person. This is the ChatGPT mystery cheat chat. Mystery cheat sheet. I don't use it, but it's pretty popular. So I thought, oh, someone will go, wow, that's so cool, and want to print it out. So I thought, I'll just put it in here. I didn't even realize there's more heaps. Best chat GPT alternatives. Look, heaps of alternatives. I only thought there was one. Wow, isn't he old-fashioned? He doesn't even know how to use whatever. What's this say? The place where 1/3 of THC leaves the body as pee and 2/3 of THC leaves the body as poop. Your whole stash ends up in the dunny. Isn't that funny? And the leaves, well, we can't break down cellulose. Well, in the cannabis leaves, there's cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin is the main particulates that make it up. And we haven't got cellulase in our body to break it down. So that's pretty accurate. And 2/3 of it, yeah. So it's just that we can't process it. That's all. But the buds and the blooming cannabinoids we do. That's the, yeah, answer that. Oh, look at this old Ma and Pa kettle. Oh, that was pretty cool. Little planter box. Hey, happy days. Even though they're not really smiling. Yeah, probably because they're not in flower. That's why. See, hurry up, grow. I should see if there's any questions and stuff like that, because it was sort of going a bit fast before. There we go. Cool. Oh, we'll look at it today. Yes, that's you go, mate. You need definitely, but the butane's the easy bit with the cylinder, but you want to do it's the purging to make it safe and to make it good. Because everybody can do the first bit, everyone can get extracted, because all it does is the carrier. The cannabinoids, they absorb into the alcohol, into the butane, and then the butane goes into your container. And then once you get rid of the butane, the cannabinoids and that stuff are left there. That's the basis of the extraction. But you want to make sure it's all gone This is where heaps of people fail. They'll do the first bit readily because it's easy to do, but you want to make sure it's clean, so there's no extra bad stuff that you're smoking, that you're inducing, even when if you're not smoking it. What's GMF said? GMF has ordered an alcohol still to make alcohol wash of seeded, of all the byproducts. Then remove the ethanol. Seems to be three different. There seem to be three different approaches. Okay, sounds good, mate. Good on you using every single bit of the plant. Yep, it's all bit the finishing. Yeah, that's what I'll say about that. I'd say it would light on fire. It sure would. It sure would. You've got to be very careful. You have to do that in well-ventilated spots when you're doing the purging and stuff like that. That's why it's not advised to do at home, because it's flammable stuff, and that's how places get burnt down and things, because they haven't got the right conditions for doing stuff. So yeah, make sure you do that. Who's going to do that? Jono, who cares? When you have to do that, the last bit, you'll see it'll just smell. Your nose will know. When your nose knows, that's why CO2 is hard, because you can't smell it. Just look at the numbers. Aaron says he sent off to 5 different people, and every one of them has replied by passing the buck. At least now that my email has gone to lots of political people. Yeah, well done, mate. He's a good advocate. Well done for trying in Australia, and I've found something similar too. I've given up. It's a joke in my eyes. But I'm really, really happy to see that people are still trying. Good on you, mate. And then he furthers to say, to me, it is them fully taking the piss out of every medicinal cannabis patient here in Australia. Yeah, mate. Yeah, I agree with you. It's just dead set sad. And he says, what cultivar is that we're looking at? Oh, that one. I don't know. That was that nice plant. I couldn't tell you, sorry. Looked pretty good though, didn't it? GMF says, first you decarb the flour, then wash and finally distill. Second, you wash the flour, decarb the wash, and finally distill. Third, you can make the wash, distill the wash, and then finally decarb. What would you choose? He says underneath. Well, if you do a low temperature extraction, you still have to decarb it, and depends on what you're going to do with the product afterwards. If you're going to smoke it, because when you're smoking it, it decarbs when you smoke it. So if it was going to the smoking market, I would just do a low temperature extraction and wash it and make sure it's all, then purge it. And that's it. That's what I'd do, because it'd be mostly for the smoking. I don't know what everyone else says though. Good question, mate. Tel says, pee in your garden, save the planet. Yes, I always do. You have to be careful though, because you'll kill the weeds if you pee in the same spot. So pee on weeds more than sort of 6 to 8 times. And what that does, that puts a lot amount of salts in there. So if your weed's coming out, especially yellow, there's heaps of salts in there. So that just builds up the salt content, and that will end up strangling it. It's because it puts it into a saline condition. So if you've got a good plant, just pee on it once a week or once a fortnight, just to not build up that amount. That's what I do anyway. Works pretty well on plants. You can also retain it in the ammonium that it's got, because the ammonium is a cation with a positive. It can bind onto a lot of negative anions like soil and other colloids. So that's pretty cool for keeping. So ammonium's, yeah, I use that too. Shit chat. Yeah, exactly. And a bit of in the pictures, remember the toilet as well. Cloudscape Mystico, you're right. Is there a difference between bubble hash than pressing it? Well, bubble hash is when you're getting you're extracting the trichomes. So yeah, you're just extracting them, and then you put it under a press. I used to use a 20-ton press. Geez, I'm not talking. My friend, and anyway, yeah. And you're supposed to put it under. There's many ways to do it. A way that works was heating up getting a 20-ton shot press, heating up the blocks that you get with it in the oven to about 200 degrees Celsius, You have to make up a few jigs to put the trichomes in. So you'll fill it full of stuff, and then you put it under the press, and it will press down and stamp. And then when it comes out in the stamp, it makes it look like an amazing smell, a really nice smell. And then it comes out really black, charred black on the outside. So you just go shh, and then lift it up. And on the inside, it's really nice and light brown. But you have to remember to do it properly. You want to cure your keef powder, your trichomes. So after your bubble hash, you dry it out, put it into glass jars, put it in about 35 Celsius or about 100 F in the shade, like in a ceiling space or in the, and then every month burp it, open it, smell it. And after about 4 to 5 months, you'll get this musty, peppery smell. That means it's cured. And then you can press it. That's what I used to do. Oh, the GMF says this is for oral consumption. Oh, for oral consumption, what would you do? Would you decarb it and wash it? Or would you wash it and then decarb it? Well, if it's for oral, you'll have to decarb it first because the body doesn't do a good job of it. But it depends. Do you want it? What receptors are you trying to target to? I just presume it's your normal ones. So if you want to, because in Canada, I was making some sleeping stuff, and we weren't decarbing it to try and target different areas. So that's just, but in general, you have to, I'd decarb it first because you said this is for oral consumption. So if you're going to hit the body, yes, decarb it. And then, so the second is the flour, decarb the wash. So decarb the flour or decarb the wash? Depends. Well, whatever temperature you set up with a good setup, because you might have a oven which can dial it in exactly 110, or you might have a stove top which is hard to dial in. So whichever step you can dial in your temperature to get the decarb is the stage would I do it at. Yeah, that's probably the best. Depends what tools you're working at, because everyone's hasn't got top dollar. So that's personally what I'd do. Thanks for the question. There'll probably be more questions about it down here, I hope. What about pharmaceuticals extracted in urine, though? Yes, it's an excellent point. People have, say, too many pharmaceuticals, so that'll end up in your substrate. So for me, I don't take anything like that. I've just try and stay pretty clean. So I know what goes in, so I know what's going to come out. But even like the frogs that were in that pond where they were only producing female frogs because of the toilet waste was going into it, and it was found out that the females were taking the pill, and that their urine was making all of the frogs infertile. So yes, it's a really relevant point you bring up. Thank you. Renee. That could be, yep, it could be. Hey, Dr. Trichome, cheers, mate. Yeah, the water is so tainted with pharmaceuticals. It's not okay. Yes, like the groundwater in the USA is 95% is polluted from all of the pesticides and runoff that farmers have used. Unfortunately, that's in the lower 48. Jono Who Cares says, this might be a stupid question. Mate, no question's a stupid question. So Jono Who Cares says, he have this bag laying around, dose it, go bad, meaning high. I have had this bag laying around, does it go bad, meaning high? Well, the THC, the cannabinoid family tree, ages. So as THC ages, it ages into CBN, and that will give you more of a sleepier, couch-locky type of a high. It won't really give you a buzzy type of thing. You can notice a difference. So what I do with that is, yeah, like Lene says down there, I would keep it for sleepy weed, or I would use that as an extraction, put that in your extraction, and put that as sleep cookies or sleep, things. And it it works amazingly well, like really, really well. It just makes you feel like you're lethargic, and it's CBN's. That's what it does to me and a few other people too. Yeah. Good questions. Thank you, everybody, for the good questions. All right, I'll get back to the next bit of the show. Oops, Murrumbidgee cattle. What's this say? Oh, look at this big tough man. Plants outside. Oh, look at me. Concrete, cozy. Plants inside. Is this tap water? I'm allergic. Well, Lieberg's law of the minimum says you're only as good as the lowest element. So if everything's perfect outside or everything's perfect inside, you're going to get bigger than this. So if you've got one of your lowest, nitrogen's the lowest thing, outside, this is all you're going to get. So yeah, it's easier said than done. That's in general, the sun, because you're only as good as your lowest bit, and if everything's perfect, you're only as good as the highest. So you have to see what's Lieberg no, it's not Lieberg, someone's law of the maximum to get the potential out of your metabolic synthesis. Hey, some photos, here's some Australia Day stuff. So yes, they're legal in Australia, by prescribed. 15 grand you can get them for, from a doctor. Pretty good, eh? But there you go. There's a bit of Sydney, a reflection in the bush. That's looking backwards, because if you were to look at this view, I saw it on telly last night. It's Taronga Park Zoo. They got a zoo over here, and you look back and you see the Sydney Harbour Bridge here, and it's got the Opera House here, and it looks like it's a postcard. Oh, that was that snippet before from that 2019 article. Yeah, I lived in the Northern Territory when it was legal, a couple of plants per person. It was actually legal in South Australia until they used to have 10 plants per person until about the 1990s, something like that. Now only ACT you can have 4. Hey, noisy koala. Hello. Happy koala, that one, wouldn't it? What's this say? Australia wants to be #1 globally for medical cannabis. What needs to happen? Holy mackerel. It's all about the money. No one cares about that. Remember I showed that about the research budget for that was last year for something zero. It's all about money, mate. It annoys the shit out of me, that person too. Hey, Mountain Man. How are you, Mountain Man? Thank you for those who subscribe. Yes, everybody in Australia agrees with it. And for those who have smoked it sourced through the street, the million or so of people, which is what 5% of Australia who's done it before all this medical cannabis come in, they need it because it's agreed with their body. They haven't used it because it's just shit. They've used it because then sourced it because, this is good. This is cool. It makes me feel better. That's why. So everyone, generally does. Very sad. Very sad. There's some work in the States, USA. You can go to this website and get some rad Kenner jobs. Like this Victorian, here's the old Premier, 2016. Looking at, you just see, when I look at these, I see medicine. I see all sorts of different types of conditions can be treated for people. Depends how they're grown and genes and all sorts. These people see it as money. They see a big dollar sign there. That's what makes me really different between myself and those. Oh, here's a synthetic cannabinoids. So remember they're outlawed in 3 US states? So this shows why. So the synthetic cannabinoids can go on their, you know, how cascade signaling pathway, and it goes to have mitochondrial dysfunction. In your cell organelles, it goes in, the end result is liver damage, renal failure, and other cardiac arrests, and all sorts of tremors, insomnia, psychosis. Look, psychosis. There you go. Caused from synthetic cannabinoids, not phytocannabinoids. So there's a big difference. So yeah, if you see synthetic cannabinoids or have an opportunity to take them, say no, they're going to cause me harm. That's why they've outlawed them in 3 US states. Pathetic. Speaking of trees, I had to put this in a. We've got bottle trees in Australia. This is in Africa, and I presume they got them too because that's a bottle tree. That's actually a baobab tree, B-A-O-B-A-B. But look how big it is. That's massive. It's supposed to store, this baobab tree can store up to 32,000 gallons of water in the trunk. That's at like 100,000 litres. So that's, holy mackerel, that's like, yeah. So most of this has got water inside. So how cool is that? I wonder why people don't put a big long tube into it and then put like normal house tap onto it. You can turn it on and off like they do with maple trees, how they tap them. I wonder why. Must be a reason. Maybe it might kill the tree. I don't know. Oh, that's the end. This is a nice one too. Very large. Very large. Righto. Yep. Genetic Memory Farm says, I can use an oven or water bath with an immersion cultivator, circulator. The water bath would have more constant and stable temperature. I can hold at just about any temperature I want. What time and temp do you think? Let's pull up a chart. I'd say it's, actually I'm not going to guess. I'll just show you the chart. It's 60, no, come on, I'll just show you. That was 55 to 110. That's what I guess. I'll share, where are we? Share screen. My screen. Secondary metabolites. And you want to know decarboxylation. So how about we go into here, see what cannabinoids it's decarbed at, where'd it go? There we go. I'll do the actual, I'll do this, there it is, the Celsius one as well. So if I, like Jono can reference this. So the range, THC is boiling point's 157. So that's Celsius. Oh, yeah, Celsius. Or 315 F. So that's at what temperature it's supposed to get to as when it's vaporized off and, yeah, volatilized off and you inhale it and then it does its thing. But up here, the THCA, it says its range is from 60 to 125 Celsius or 140 to 257 F. So I'd be going 100, 110 Celsius. That seems pretty high. That means you're going to lose a few terpenes. And CBG actually is 55. Yeah, it doesn't show you. CBG is 55 Celsius, like ocimene. It's one of the lowest volatile compounds. So cannabinoids plus compounds converted CBGA. What else do I have on decarb? There's quite a lot of charts that you see on that, and people are always changing it. Like, see, in 2001, they reckoned it was, and then 2015, they've just, that's the same. Where's ones that's changed? Beta-caryophyllene. Beta-caryophyllene, it works as a cannabinoid too and opens up the CD1 receptors. 5-HT2 is 55 Celsius. 5-HT2 is 55 Celsius. So So that, yeah, see, that's changed a bit. That used to be really high. Now it's come down a smidgen, 290, 260. So they do different charts, different things. So I'd be trying that and seeing, and then having some yourself, just eating some yourself, and then seeing if you got to where you want it is probably the best way to put it, just to make sure it's getting the decarb. Oh, and then a time frame. How long would I do it for? Well, you want to get the molecules there, make sure that that molecule is at that temperature for a few minutes at least, and to know that it's right down deep into that temperature. I don't know, I'd probably make it at least probably 10 minutes at least. Yeah, 10 to 15 at a guess. Then I'd be testing it, and you can just test it by inducing a bit, having none in the morning, and then wait to see if it got you, if it started to affect you like THC normally affects you. That gives you a little bit of a spin in that. The entourage effect, no. Seeing if there's any stuff on decarbed specific. There was that cannabinoid family tree before. That starts out as your CBG, and then we're talking as it gets aged. So THC over here, it will be heated or decarbed. Oxygen can do that too, and it'll age into CBN down here. So that's what's going to happen if it's just aged, Johnny. It's just going to be changed into CBN. Trying to find some other relevant stuff for the decarb. Here's a fresh frozen method. So here's another way, Jono, that you can go and use your goods. But you said this is one of the best ways to retain all the terps. Having fresh frozen is like live rosin, and it is unbelievably terped up because it hasn't had any chance to be put into the heat or to the air. Because what you do, fresh frozen cannabis is added to a container of ice and water. So that's it. You just start straight away, or you can put it straight in the freezer. But remember, freezing it, it'll start and it might rot it because there's still moisture into it. So this is, if you just stick to exactly this way, this is the method. You can change it a bit, of course, but yeah, just another extraction way to process your cannabis really well. Decarboxing, come on. No, your terpenes, yes. Terpenes are so beneficial. Terpene health benefits, no. Guides. Not much decarbing stuff. There's the synthetic way that they do in the lab. So they just go and change the size of the tail. Cut a long story short, the tail length is a driver of how the THC molecule interacts with the receptors. So that's what changes it into all these different things. Come on, entourage effect. No, that's decarbon we're looking for. Has it got anything in there? More intense, boiling points. THC, terpenol. Oh, it's just the boiling points. So that's the boiling points is the temperature at which you get it to for it to release or to do its thing. And the sun effects, no. Yeah, vaping temps. That's pretty interesting. I reckon if you turn it up to this temperature, this is what you get again. THCV, yes, that's cool, isn't it? Come on, good. All right, that's it. Stop sharing. Hope you got something out of that, mate. It didn't really help. Oh, is it meshes up there the whole time? That probably would have taken a lot of stuff off the screen. Spewing. Oh, I hope. Thanks everyone. I had no idea the difference. Okay. Do you know who cares? CBN. Okay. Yep. He's helping him out. Amazing. Renee says, Jono, who cares? The bag was from my 3 grow, so about 6 months old, but was in a green garbage bag because it was ugly and seeded. How was it kept though? Was it kept in the air and was sun got to it? Because if sun's gotten to it, there's a high chance it's it just ruins it. So it depends how it was kept, mate. So if you kept it relatively all right, you know, but if you kept it very air where it was open at the top and the sunlight sort of could get onto the bag and really heat it up, I'd be second guessing the result of what the product is. But it might have really taken effect. So take that into consideration too, where it was stored. Did the temperature get above 45 or 40 degrees Celsius? Like, did you store it in the back shed? Did it get sunlight on it, on the bag, to roast it? Hell yeah, charts. Yeah, GMF. Thanks, mate. I like the charts too. There's nothing like explaining stuff to the charts, eh? Oh, he's talking to Jono. Check the video out. Okay. GMF says, GMF has a lot of trouble finding detailed and accurate information on decarbing process and protocols. Ah, you can, yeah. Well, you can do your own by those charts before and then do it at the sort of 10 minutes and then wait for the next morning till it's cooled down and take some and see if it does anything. And if it's giving you your normal head spin, you'll know that it's been decarbed. And then you might want to do next run at 10 degrees hotter. And then before you know it, after doing that for a few years with testing it that way, you'll get a result in that'll just get it really nice. Then you'll be able to, because as you see, mate, everybody's guessing and no one's testing and no one's putting any results or very little into their research and development these days because cannabis is all it just sells. It annoys me. Hey, Devon Shipwreck. How you going, mate? Looking forward to summer. Jono, who cares, says he wanted to turn it into a vape pen. Would that be a bad idea? No, that's what they've done in Canada and North America. After your products fail, which most people do, they get fungus and all sorts on them, so they don't care. They just extract them, mate. They put them through their radiation machine and kill 5%, and then they just extract, and it'll all be coming out bad. So it's a really good idea, especially if you haven't got vape pens over there in Thailand. There's a high chance that they'll take off, and you'll find you'll probably be pulling the crops down at day 45 just to extract them to put into the vape pens. Because it's a pretty easy process. You just got to dilute it with actually, you used to use MCT oil, but there's a new one out now that they're using that's a way better carrier, and it wicks well too, and I don't know what it is, but that's what you used to use. So I'm sure you could a little bit of research to get you into that, but that's a good idea, mate, for going down the route of the vape pen. Because you don't have to light it up. That's why people really like it. They can carry it anywhere, and it doesn't really smell much, and you can really just blow the smoke into places like out car windows and things, and it's pretty good. Not a bad idea. No light but air. Oh, that was the bag. Hey, Purple Thumb, how you going, mate? Nice to see you, Purple Thumb. No light but air. So your bag that your 6-month-old bag of weed has been just sitting there exposed to the air. Is it brittle? Well, it doesn't really matter. What about the temperature? That's the next thing. How about the temperature that it got to? What would you surmise that the highest temperature it got to there over the last 6 months where the bag was sitting? Jono, who cares? Because that's probably the main thing. And just with the amount of air that it's had for 6 months, the THC's definitely changed into CBN. I can nearly guarantee that. If you're going to extract it, it won't really get you very high. You'll still get this little slightly bit of a spin, but it has a really good effect of CBN on the body. Oh yeah, just using Terps, 4%'s the average. What are you doing? Well, thanks, Shipwreck. What up, Perp? G'day. Jono says 36 temperature Celsius, that is. Okay. So that's not too bad. It's not too good either. But get some out, roll up a joint, and smoke it for when you, so tomorrow morning or the next morning, roll it and sit. You have to sit still when you're doing testing weed for the first time or for any time, and you want to get in nice, comfortable conditions so your heart rate doesn't go up, etc., temperature and all sorts. And then have it, sit down and just smoke it, and then see what happens, and see if you start to feel a bit buzzy or a bit higher or a bit elevated or energetic, or if you're starting to feel more lazy, feel like you've got a virus or your bones heavier. You can do that, and that will give you a rough indication of your compounds, because they have got testers. Oh no, that's a CBD and THC tester. They got them in North America to test your extractants to know if there's how much THC is in them for people who work with it in their jobs. That's not CBN, so that's not relevant to you. Sorry. I should think before I chat. Yeah, Purple Thumb. Cheers, everybody. Purple Thumb starting to make infused pre-rolls at work today. What a pain. Look at this, Purple Thumb. What do you think about this? That's pretty funny. You would have got the answer quite. It's not what I wanted. What do you think of this? I showed this before. What is? Could you explain? I asked this before. What does everybody think what it is? And we had a bit of a guess and stuff. I guessed, like a few other people, but I guessed it was a blunt wrap on the outside with weed in the center, and then a bit too much rosin in the center. Too much rosin. That should be half the size, I reckon. Because that would burn real weird. I reckon that would burn too slow. Because that's heaps. In my eyes, that's a stack. I don't know. What's your... You made them. So what's your opinion, please? Purple Thumb? This will be interesting to hear back. Purple Thumbs, it looks annoying to smoke. Yes. That's what it says. Shipwreck. Yeah, that's my guess. Oh, yeah, Purple Thumb says that won't burn correctly. No, oh, and then no way. Okay, good, yeah, because the massive amount is too much in there, isn't it? It'll just slowly burn once it gets to that little bit, and then everything else will sort of, I don't know, just won't burn right because there's too much in there. It might look pretty. Good on you. Thanks for your input, fellas. Canadians, no. Props to all the cool Canadian people. GMF says, unfortunately, in the US, there is testing available, but it is prohibitory expensive for home growers. Yeah, so it's just damn expensive. What a shame. How can we dial stuff in? Yeah. Well, the best thing is with your rad experience, you can do the test yourself. So you know, because I had some stuff a while ago that was aged and I knew it was CBN. It still got me a little bit buzzy, but it didn't get me to where I wanted to. And yeah, that was saved for sleeping. All right. Agreed. So this is going all right. I was actually thinking of not having a show for a month. It turned out quite a few people here today, but that was my thoughts because of how things are going and stuff and how much effort I put into the show and things, but got quite a few comments today. I don't know. What do you guys and girls think? And it takes time for me to go through and to get all these, like I'll share my screen, to prepare stuff like all these slides, it takes a while. And I don't know, I just don't want to do it for a bit. It's just really, really challenging. I'm a bit busy. The project, I've taken on a project. So that's what it comes down to. I don't know. How does that come across to you folk? What's your opinions, please? GMF says you should only do what you want to do and what you enjoy. Time for a break, then so be it. Yeah, take a break if that's what you need. Aussie, thanks, Purple Farm. Shipwreck says, well, I say don't get burnt out on it, man. If that's a good way to put it, if I don't get burnt out. Yeah, because I have a bit of a... what's happening is all of the way the legislation, the way that the medicinal market, everything is piss poor in Australia, and they don't want to listen, they don't want to know, and it annoys me. So and I'm getting personally nowhere with my trying to help other companies and things too. So it's I don't know, it's kind of like beating your head against the wall and getting nowhere. That's how I feel. And then not having many questions in chat for answers to help people. It's questioning my actions. What am I doing? You know, I'm not here to, I'm not one of those persons to riff-raff on people, and I'm not into that. I just like the cool medicinal cannabis stuff, or the mushrooms, you know, medicinal mushrooms, how all these things can really help us become better people. And goodness, we live in such shit worlds, all of us. We've all got problems, so we don't need any more problems. So that's the way I was just thinking anyway. So yeah, it's a good point. So at least it might keep my spirits up, by taking a break off. Renee says it's really up to you. I agree with, yep. Of course, we'd all miss the weekly with the break. Yeah. Yeah, well, this has been one of the most viewingest shows for a while. I haven't been up to 10 people for a while, so that's what's brought that on as well. So yeah, all right. Well, I'll just do a month. I'll just do a month then, because I really like the questions, and I don't know, I get a bit of a kick out of helping people with cannabis, because I can show all the slides and I can make sense of the technical stuff to help people out. And I wish I had that type of help when I was back in the day. I would have been on the right path from then. So yeah, that's all I like to do. So, righto. Yeah, and like just, you know, the laws aren't like in Australia. Everywhere else in the world is getting legalised, and in Australia it's going to take years, solidly years, to the end of this decade before a home grower can grow his or her own 6, plants in flower that they want. It's bloody upsetting, and how well it works for people. I lived in Canada for 5 years. I know. So that's why I'm a bit downhearted too. I just stay here fighting the law all the time. Well, not fighting the law because I'm not doing the wrong thing, but that's the way it sort of seems. Everybody's too scared because it's all illegal, but it's not. It's medicinal. But then the law, then they can't be advocates to go and talk against it. Oh, because my work might be, or the problems and all sorts of other drama that I don't like. So I'm just not one for drama. I don't like it. It's annoying. What's Jono Who Cares says? CBN, question mark. Is it better to smoke or smoke? No, not at all. Well, CBN, you've smoked THC all your life with tiny bits of CBD in it. So the THC has got, there's a thing that a lot of us users are used to, how it gives us a bit of cloud. It's over your thoughts or over your brain. It slows my neurons down. It's really good. But the CBN, it doesn't give you as much as that, so you still remain a smidgen straighter. I'd say it's in between smoking CBD. The CBD, you stay 100% straight. The biggest, fattest, stinkiest bowl you can smoke, and you say 100% straight. And THC is the opposite. You smoke a big fat one, you start spinning for the first sort of, 3 to 5 minutes. Then it calms down a bit. Or a big rosin hit or something, a big dab does the same. Where CBN is in the middle. So it doesn't spin you off your head, ever, for me, and it doesn't do nothing. So it's, that's my opinions on it. Try it out for yourself, John. You've smoked heaps as well. You know the effects. Start noticing the effects that you get after half a gram. So you might want to put a little bit in. And I got to regulate my usage so I could dial my effects in a bit better. So I knew how much for half a gram, like the Volcano holds 0.4. So I know if I'm going to put in just under, if I put it a bit bigger, it might be half a gram in the Volcano. So then I know half a gram does about that much to me every time. So that's what I'll be kind of used to. So when I'll put in different cultivars or different strains and stuff, I'll expect the same of the similar amount. Or at the end of my second bag, I usually get just a little mild cough that doesn't hurt my throat or head, but it's just a cough to go, wow, okay, you've had a fair bit. That's, from dialing in my Volcano. So it's good to dial your smoke in, from doing it. What's the name say? Oh, that's why you scheduled your next live in 42 days. Yes. Feel sorry for Australian cannabis consumers, growers. Yeah, unless you're in the ACT, it's like good luck. You got to pay top dollar, or you're better off for those persons who want to smoke daily. They're better off, instead of spending the whole wage on it, they just stick with a street market. And I don't, I'm supposed to be promoting law, but it's just what is in their budget, in one's budget. It's easy for the politicians to say, yeah, it's bloody legal here. Yeah, it is in the ACT, it's rad. But everyone else, good luck. Yes. Renee says, Renee has 100 milligram THC shot with 5 milligrams CBN added to help with sleep. Going to try it later. Yeah, see that, Jono? Who cares? So it's only got 5%. So it's supposed to be tested in the States for sleep. So that's pretty cool. So that's a small amount, mate. So your weed that you've got is really rad because you'll be able to use it like this. GMF says to me, don't be discouraged. All right. This is always a long fight. California started the fight here over 50 years ago. Australia is just way behind. And another 10 years. Yeah, but it's been in the middle of it, mate. It's reaching out to people. They're not listening. They're not trying. They're turning a blind eye. They're making false and fake excuses, like Aaron says. That happened to him as well. And knowing how beneficial this is for the person, from being in Canada, asking all the old folk in the dispensaries when I used to sell to the dispensaries, why do they take it? And they just all used to say to me so many positive things on how it used to be, how it works for them with little side effects. And that sold it to me. So coming back to Australia, it's very hurtful how they're not interested. And they make really weak, piss-weak, fake excuses. And they're trying to put out false claims. Like, remember one university I spoke to years ago said, oh, no, we need Australian studies on it first. The overseas studies, they're in different conditions, but then they're scientifically run. So for them to say that, it's an excuse because they will pull up studies on their microbiology, for instance, in different countries and put that into their essays or into their classes. So it's very weak excuses. That's sad. Pharmaceuticals are making too much money in Australia, and I don't want to go into it. It's just sad. It's just corrupt and sad. So yeah, I am discouraged, mate, for the sake of Australia. That's why I really try and help out the Canadians, love the Canadians and the North American folk, because they know where it's headed. They've got legalities that support all these rad things. And it's not like talking to a brick wall, where in Australia, people don't even believe what you say, even when you prove it to them. No. We've got to do a study on that. Yeah, you know, it's, so that's, yeah. Shipwreck, yeah. GMF says, yeah, politically organising is difficult and demoralising. GMF completely understands how you feel. You are caught between worlds. I'm not caught in, because my world's rad. I know it works, mate. I feel sorry for those who can't get access to it and can't have the ability to grow their own because of the stupid laws and the stupid political crap and all that stuff that goes along with it, all the payouts and pharmaceuticals and blah, blah. So it's sad for them and for others. So that's who I feel sorry for. I'm right, mate, to be honest. I've got good genetics. I've got, you know, so for me personally, this is my passion, and it's sad that I can't share it with others because then they can't have the access to it, like the laws, for instance. They can't just go and grow. So I can't go and give seeds away each week or something because the law will come back and bite me. These types of things. It's just bloody, that's what I think, yeah. So that's why I try not to get into it too much, mate, because it's beating my head against the door. I tried for the last few years. Don't get me wrong, I really tried. And, yeah, now knowing their excuses and their very weak excuses, it's sad. It'll happen eventually. Like you said, it will happen because they're starting to do Australian studies on it. So they've got people who are advocating in the right areas in Australia for it. They've got politicians that are advocating for it. So it's happening, but I'm sick of it. It's, yeah, and just good luck, Australia. Yeah, ridiculous is the word that comes to my mind. It is. It's just ridiculous. The excuse about needing separate studies. Yeah, see, that's the type of thing. They're scientists, but they need different studies. Like, what's the difference? It's a piss weak excuse. Those types of stuff. It's just a letdown. Very hard-headed, very hot-headed, very head in the sand. Good luck to them. They got their reasons for it, of course, but yeah, I just can't get too upset about it because that's when I will just say see ya. So I want to try it, and that's why I liked all the questions, so I could somewhat give my opinions and show the slides on what things I've been educated from to shed some light on some questions. So that's the stuff that really keeps me going, helping out those types of folk, because I know that big companies and politicians, they're only interested in the money 100%. Where me, I'm interested in various things within the plant to manipulate that to bring different outcomes for different patients. Massive difference, humongous difference. So it's, yeah, that's what they're starting to do in other places in the world now, let alone Australia. They haven't even legalised it in other parts of Australia yet. So it's, I'm in the wrong country. I'm helping out the wrong, trying to help the wrong people in that sense. Use cool folk out there. Thanks heaps for staying, for staying with me and keeping heads high and, keeping the spirits up. It's, something that needs to be done. We need to share our good knowledge with other people so that they can get the medicinal benefits and bring their best potential out of their bodies. That's what this is really about. Because as we age, all bad things happen, and then the cannabinoids can just put a key into that spot, bang, they'll unlock it. Hey, it's all free again. Oh, it's all good again. Oh, I can think and retain this again. Blah, blah. So, yeah, I've seen all that. I understand it. Well, what you can do, if you're a bit eager to ask questions and things, you can always get into my comments and Jimmy up there or say, hey, put another show on, or, you know, stuff like that. I'm eager to get back, or I don't know, something like that. And I might be able to do it a bit earlier. But at the moment, I might just leave it for another month. So even though today was one of the best shows probably had in a while. Yes, it's just funny like that, isn't it? All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Hope you have a fantastic day the next few weeks. And I'll speak to you soon, I hope. Thanks again. Happy breeding, happy growing, and good health to you all. Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.